All right, let's jump right into this explainer and talk about a massive fundamental shift happening in corporate training right now. For decades, organizations have been measuring workplace learning the exact same way. And honestly, it just isn't working anymore. Today, we're unpacking UpSkill LXP to see how the smartest companies are finally ditching the old box-checking routine and moving toward building real, measurable capability.
So here is the core frustration for practically every HR leader today, and it boils down to one simple reality. Completion is not the same as capability. We all know the drill, right? An employee clicks through a training module while they're secretly catching up on emails, they guess a few quiz answers, and boom, the system marks them as done. But the truth, the thing that keeps leaders up at night is that passing a static, boring module absolutely does not mean that person actually learned how to do the job.
Which brings us to the ultimate question you have to ask yourself. Has your employee just completed the course, or are they actually ready to apply the skill on the floor? This right here is the exact blind spot that traditional corporate training models create. Think about it. We have mountains of data on who finished what course, but almost zero data on whether they actually retain that knowledge, or if their manager can even validate their new skills. We've literally been tracking the wrong metric this whole time.
To fix this, we're seeing a major paradigm shift. And that's where platforms like UpSkill LXP come in. It operates as an AI-powered learning experience platform, and what it does is take all that dry, static internal knowledge, your standard operating procedures, your policies, your dense product manuals, and transforms them into highly structured, dynamic learning journeys. It's fundamentally about moving way beyond those old static content libraries. When you compare the two, it's a total showdown between the old and the new. Traditional LMS models basically act like giant digital filing cabinets that just track clicks. They focus on basic course delivery, static content, and those forgettable end-of-course quizzes. UpSkill LXP, on the other hand, completely shifts the focus to role readiness, continuous AI-assisted engagement, and actually validating skills. It's the difference between asking, "Hey, did you read this?" versus "Can you actually do this?"
Now, one of the biggest hurdles in any training program is the notorious forgetting curve. You could have the most amazing course in the world, but if your learners forget everything 3 weeks later, well, you're right back to square one. So let's explore how this platform actively fights that curve and keeps learners locked in over time.
It starts right at the personalized dashboard. Everything here leverages gamification to drive immediate, daily participation. You've got a streak counter, you're earning XP or experience points for the week, and front and center is a brain boost module ready to go. The whole experience shifts from feeling like you have to read long, painful documents to actually wanting to log in daily, build up those streaks, earn that XP, and genuinely interact with the material.
And that engagement doesn't just happen in a silo, it extends right into team dynamics through the team feed. When someone earns a certificate in something like AI for Everyone, it's broadcast to the group. People can like the updates, and there are even leaderboards ranking the top learners by total XP. This is brilliant because it turns solitary, often boring compliance training into a competitive, highly visible team progression. It uses social proof to motivate the entire workforce.
But hey, foundational learning still has to happen, right? The platform handles traditional reading and extracted organizational knowledge beautifully, using a completely distraction-free interface. The AI actually extracts the key knowledge base so the learner can just focus deeply on the material at hand. It truly respects the learner's time and attention by keeping the absolute core content front and center without any clutter.
And the platform is vast enough to handle way more than just asynchronous modules. Enter the Spaces feature. This expands the ecosystem to host focused, virtual classrooms. So whether you're onboarding a brand new cohort of hires or running a live leadership development session, Spaces seamlessly integrates live, real-time learning right into the overall journey.
Okay, so the absolute most crucial point here is retention. Let's circle back to that brain boost feature I mentioned. We know employees can pass a quiz today and forget it entirely by next month. Brain Boost fixes this using spaced repetition. A learner reviews flashcards of important concepts and then rates their own confidence. Knew it, almost, or missed it. Based on that honest response, the algorithm automatically reschedules that exact flashcard to reappear anywhere from 1 day to 90 days later. This is what guarantees that knowledge actually moves from short-term memory directly into long-term retention.
And beyond the flashcards, there's a whole suite of continuous engagement tools. You've got rapid refresh campaigns. These are short, targeted quizzes sent out across departments to quickly reinforce knowledge. Then there are fun quizzes, which are live, competitive quizzes with leaderboards that are just perfect to run during team meetings. plus surveys to gather reflections and feedback. The whole goal is to make sure learning isn't just a dreaded one-time event, but an ongoing, interactive habit.
Now for our really vital question. We've looked at how to get knowledge into a learner's head, but how do we transition from simply knowing something to actually doing it on the job? Like, how do we know for sure the training actually worked in the real world?
The answer is a feature called practicals, because let's be honest, training shouldn't end with a multiple-choice test. With practicals, employees are required to submit real-world evidence of their skill application directly to their line manager or a subject matter expert. This could literally be a completed task, a file upload, a direct workplace observation, or even a customer handling scenario. The manager then reviews and validates it. This is exactly how you connect online learning to actual verifiable workplace behavior.
And of course, for formal compliance and really high-stakes training, the platform provides incredibly robust internal certification tools. Organizations can build out custom question banks, set strict pass thresholds, cap the number of attempts, and even shuffle answers to prevent cheating. For maximum security, you even have the option for proctored assessments using their Proctorly.ai integration. It ensures that when a certificate is issued for something critical like safety compliance, it actually means something.
Let's zoom out to the executive level for a second. If you're an HR leader or the head of L&D, you need to see how all these different learning signals, the streaks, the brain boosts, the practicals, the certifications, how they all come together in one centralized place to measure true capability across your entire organization.
This brings us to the Role Readiness Index. This is the holy grail. It doesn't just look at basic course completion. It combines that with assessment performance, knowledge retention from those spaced repetition flashcards, and that all-important practical validation from line managers. This multi-layered capability score completely replaces that meaningless who clicked next metric. It finally gives you a true numerical understanding of whether a learner is actually capable.
This shift fundamentally changes how we look at analytics. We're moving away from activity reporting and toward capability reporting. Tracking clicks only tells you what people did in a system. Tracking readiness tells you what they can actually do out on the floor. These analytics allow leaders to track competency progress, spot at-risk learners early on, and identify organizational skill gaps across entire departments. You finally actually get to see the real return on your learning and development investment. And yes, to make all of this work at scale, the platform is fully enterprise-ready. It can be completely white-labeled with your company's own branding, login pages, and custom certificate templates. It integrates seamlessly into your existing tech stack with Microsoft Single Sign-On, and it connects directly with Slack and Microsoft Teams to send out helpful nudge alerts and digest right where your employees are already spending their day working.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. The core philosophy of UpSkill LXP is simple. Stop tracking completion and start measuring capability. The future of corporate learning isn't just about having the biggest course library, it's about ensuring every single hour of training leads to real-world readiness. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. In your organization today, are you simply checking boxes to say training is done, or are you truly building a workforce that is capable, confident, and genuinely ready to execute?